today's YouTube video. Today we're obviously going down to our first not first convention of the year, but the convention. So if you guys can make sure to smash the like button, hit the subscription, helps the channel immensely. I am cosplaying as Luffy today. Obviously we're gonna go and try to meet some voice actors and do some stuff at the con. You guys will see me in like half a second walking into the convention because we are in a parking lot waiting. So with that being said, let's get inside. Let's not waste too much time obviously going to talk to these voice actors, and we'll try to show what I can. I don't know what we will be able to show, but we'll do our best. So let's get down there and show you guys. Alright, we now made it to the convention. So now that we made it to the convention, let's obviously go inside and go talk about, well, we'll probably show booths or whatever we find first, but we have to first go through security. So that'll be fun, so let's go inside. Alright, so we now made it to the convention. Look at the badge. That's such a cool badge that they have for us. So obviously now we're gonna I guess we'll walk around, maybe find a couple booths. So again, I'll just kind of pan this way so you guys have an idea of what we're looking at. So I don't know if we're gonna be voice actors first or what we're gonna do first, but we are definitely going to obviously try to find something fun. So let's start there. At this first booth, I see like Kotetsu, Minato, I see Naruto, Itachi's. They have lots of Naruto pops, honestly. Obviously they have the My Hero collection down there, some of the One Punch Man, which should be getting season 3 very soon, Yu-Gi-Oh pops, a ton of Avatar pops, and a couple Korra ones. Up there is a couple One Piece pops, Hunter x Hunter of course, JJK, I think that's Fairy Tail. But other than that, let's go to the next booth and see what pops we do see. Originally we were gonna go to another booth, but if you guys want to hold on. Oh look, we're here to meet John Swayze. Ignore all the people you might have seen. So obviously with that, let's obviously meet. I don't know if I'm gonna record anything, but I'll definitely show you guys afterwards. All right, so we did meet Crocodile. I didn't get any footage, of course, but I will obviously show you guys in a second. Obviously once we are about to meet Sanji for obviously, so I'll show you guys that. I don't know if I'm gonna actually show footage of us like meeting him, but we will try to show what I can, and then we'll go obviously in showcase and then go back and pop hunt. So let's go meet Sanji and see how this comes out. So we have met Eric Mayo. I don't have the pop into my backpack currently, and we also met Madara. Again, I haven't shown either of those. We'll show those when we get back to the house, but obviously this is genuinely crazy. So let's go and look at some pop booths and kind of look around honestly and just kind of explore a little bit of this con because we've met a lot of people and it's pretty fun. So let's go go some booths and see what pops they have. Look at this cool Bonnie cosplayer. That's so cool. That is crazy. That is so cool. That is crazy. I came to another booth after all that, and we do see like they have those limited edition Courages, Monkey D. Luffy, Sanji, Denji with Pochita. If you go this way, more of all the same kind of pops. More Courages over there. There's another side though. On this side, I see like this random more horror pops. You have like Sasuke, some Naruto, Akaza, some of those like new Demon Slayer ones, Spy Family, Kaiju number 8, AOT, more One Piece pops. A lot of really great pieces on this table. And so let's go to the next booth. At this next booth we found, I found Lloyd, Bond, there you have Yor. I guess there is another overhaul if you watched my last video. A lot of My Hero pops right here if you want to keep seeing those. Tanjiro's, more My Hero. Some of those Adventure Time NFTs back there. I do see Garp, which is really cool. I'm gonna keep going. I see a bunch of Dragon Ball pops, ton of Dragon Ball pops. Even more of these like NFT pops and Cake and Fiona. They have Simon right there, Finn. They do have the Himmelchase, which is really cool, and that Metal Knuckles. But there's so many good pops here. I'm also seeing, if you want to keep going, I do see more of these. I do see obviously Smoker over there. Keep going, One Piece right there. So many good pops. I'm gonna go flip around because there's a couple pops on that side. On this side of the table though, I do see like they have Rob Lucci right there, Admiral or Marshall D. Teach or Blackbeard, and Porio Ivankov, which is so cool. Again, Rob Lucci again, that Toji, those Red Hawk Luffy. Man, this is genuinely such a cool buy. I might try to pick up something from this booth, honestly. But other than that, though, let's go and keep walking around. Alright, look at us. We're all leaving now. Look at Victor. There's Angel. And there's Michael. Obviously, so now we are obviously done. I did pick up something from the booth. Obviously, we're going to go back to the house now and show you guys everything, talk about everything, and all the stuff we got. So let's go back to the house. It's very kind of awkward out here because it's kind of quiet, but let's go back to the house. All right, guys, so now we are back from going down to the convention, as you guys saw with all that footage. It was such an exciting time. I haven't been to a convention in a cool minute. As you guys saw, I was definitely dressed up as Luffy. I hope you guys are enjoying. We're gonna give a little bit of an update. I'm changing how the content's gonna work. Basically, I am going to be changing because I've kind of gotten to the point that I want content to be more consistent and definitely more like evolved for you guys. So it's not so like it doesn't feel so rushed. So there's gonna be 3 videos a week. We're gonna do still the same concept: Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We're gonna stop doing videos on Saturday just because there's not enough time for me to just drop those videos without making them feel really rushed. Streams, I'm going to stream from Monday through Friday. I'm going to take Saturday and Sunday off on streaming, but I will still post shorts on like those days. I'll post on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday of shorts, and we're going to still consistently try to do the drawing shorts and the challenges, but that's kind of the changes. And if I do stream on Sunday and on Saturday, Sunday, it's just because I really felt like it. but I kind of want to change it just so it doesn't feel like I'm consistently like endlessly just like missing content days by giving myself that little bit of a break. With that being said, now we can talk about the video, of course, which again, we just went down to the convention, super excited to talk about what we picked up and show you guys. When we meet the voice actors, I've actually decided that I don't really feel like recording them signing. I used to do it early in those con videos, but the thing that I noticed was that a lot of times recently, a lot of the voice actors don't want you recording them signing, or they want to charge you for it. So I kind of figure it's just easier not to record those parts of the video and instead just show you guys the interaction afterwards, because I think it still works out just the same, and I think it's still really cool. Obviously, we met that really cool Bonnie, the Withered Bonnie cosplay, and that was such a cool cosplay. I had to get a video, obviously, showcasing it. That was crazy. And the con itself, there wasn't that many people. Like, it was like kind of, even though it was in a bigger venue, there wasn't a lot of people for some reason. I don't think it was properly promoted, but it was still cool nonetheless, and we got to meet some pretty cool people. We obviously, my buddy met Rogue, Finn, and Kid Goku. And we obviously went and met Madara and Sanji. And John Swayze did have a free signature that he was giving out, which is like, it was kind of cool. I don't know where I put my copy, but still. And he gave it, but it was on like a little, like his like business card almost. So nothing crazy there. However, let's showcase off the SIGs because those were like the highlights. So the first one we obviously got was going to be Sanji right here. And obviously with Sanji, this is, again, it doesn't say anything crazy, just my name, and it's Eric Vale's signature, a signature that I really wanted in the collection for quite a bit of time, because again, I've loved watching One Piece, and I definitely wanted Sanji in the collection. Sanji's a GOAT, and it was definitely one of those signatures that I for sure needed in my collection, because again, I met, if you guys are big followers of the channel, we met Eric Vale very beginning of my one of my earlier videos on my channel. That was one of the first things we did, and I didn't actually show it, but that was my first convention. Actually, we met Eric Vale there, and I wasn't watching One Piece. I barely was really watching anything. I think I barely started Naruto at the time. So at the time I was like, I don't really care about signatures, nor do I care about Eric Vale. But then I got to the point now where I've watched My Hero and obviously One Piece, so of course I had to showcase that one off. That's such a cool signature to add to the collection wall, which there's so many characters I'd love to meet, but that's definitely was up there. Because I want to one day get all the Straw Hats. I think that'd be genuinely crazy. However, the other one we obviously got was going to be Madara right here, if you want to see, which again, we got the GameStop exclusive glow. He wrote the little date if you guys want to see when we got it. And it just says the con, where it was at, and obviously it tells you the date, which was when we actually met him. And I think it's so cool. He wrote obviously his name right there. Really cool guy if you do get an opportunity to meet him. He was really nice. Was talking about hyping up One Piece, obviously, and I was kind of a little bit lost because, as you guys know, I'm only at like right where Marineford is at. So when you say that there's when you say you're coming to the show, I'm like, oh, I don't even know what you're talking about. But he still was cool nonetheless, and it was a fun interaction. We met again. All the voice actors were pretty cool to meet. Obviously, I'm really hyped that we were able to get Madara in the collection. Madara's one of those characters that was really done dirty in the show, in my opinion, and even he agreed with it. Like he didn't like how it happened because of the factor that. This is the most, dude, he was, so overpowered, and then the way they took him out was just so, underwhelming, in my opinion, and he completely agreed with me, and nonetheless, though, still a cool signature to add to the collection. I'm glad I was able to add these two because of the fact that I wanted to actually put them up on the wall and get more collections, especially from Naruto, because I don't have too many Naruto signatures. So currently, the only ones I have are Sakura, Sasuke, and Sai. Those are the only three, and now we have Madara thrown in there, which is really cool. And I like getting these kind of guys so that later on in the future, if they're at more cons, I don't ever have to worry oh, I need that guy in my collection. You just kind of just know oh, I got that one, I'm good. And you bypass it. That's how I look at it. Because when con lists get added, a lot of times there's so many voice actors that you're like, oh, I can't get one of these smaller characters unless they're really a fan favorite. And sometimes you have to pick the bigger voice actor just because that's who you knew you wanted to meet early. It's kind of like that. Because there is a con coming up in December, and Tanjiro just got added to the roster, and I love Tanjiro a lot, or Zach Aguilar, but man, there's some bigger, I'm not going to tell you who the bigger ones are, but there's some people down there that I prefer, even though I love Tanjiro, these guys are bigger actors that I genuinely wanted to meet more than Tanjiro, I would say, so it's kind of sorry Tanjiro, but that's kind of my concept, because if Tanjiro was at something small like this, then I probably could have got Tanjiro, and then, it would have been kind of getting Madara and Sanji, where they're main characters, kind of, but they're not the main characters, but we still picked up some stuff at the con. Obviously, we picked up one thing, and I'm going to show you guys that. And the pop we ended up grabbing for today's video, we ended up finally getting, this is so cool, we got Smoker with the obviously pre-release sticker, which is really cool from Chalice. We got Captain Smoker here. This isn't the chase, of course, but this is a pop I've wanted in my collection. I do like Smoker a lot. I think Smoker is genuinely such a I'm not saying he's like the most broken character, but I actually really enjoy him in the show, especially because again he randomly appears as like in Logtown, and then he appears again in Alabasta for a little bit, and then now he appears in Marineford again. He's always with Tashigi, and it's just a cool character that even though he doesn't do anything crazy, and I don't know what he does in the time skip, of course, but as of where I'm at currently, I really like him as a character, so I figured I needed it. Plus, this pop is so cool because if you guys see, it's like him, the smoke's like flying off of it. It looks genuinely really cool, and he has his little staff that has the the Prisma Stone or whatever they called it, that basically like negates devil fruits. Super cool pop. Again, I was super glad I was able to get this one. I genuinely really wanted this, especially because, again, as you guys know, I'm going to do a video updating this entire One Piece collection because it's genuinely going, like, all over the place because I'm at the point now where I'm getting, like, okay, yeah, I know the characters more and I want to change them because currently I have Akainu, which I thought his name was Akainu until I watched it, and it's Akainu, and he's there next to Admiral Kizaru. Old Croc right there in the middle, which I'd like to put the Warlords together. Except the problem is I got one of the Warlords. As you guys know, I got John Vermillion to sign my Dracula Mihawk, and that's the only one we gotten so far. Which I don't know why we don't have one of him using a slash or something, but I digress. So I got that one signed. I don't have a Boa Pop. I now met Jinbei, even though he's not technically a Warlord. Crocodile wasn't even technically a Warlord anymore. I don't have a Doflamingo Pop. They've never made a Gecko Moria. So I'm kind of like, the more I think about it, but I would like to, hopefully we do get all of those characters at some point. And I'd love to just update the shelf a little bit with putting pops where because now I know most of the characters on my little collection there, then, that I'm actually hyped up that I'd want to update the One Piece shelf to put everyone in different selections. Because currently the way it's sitting, it was kind of like, I just kind of fit, and I didn't really 100% know everything that was going on, but now I really understand these pops, and they become so much cooler in my opinion. And that's why I like to buy pops. I like to buy them once I know the character, plus I know some more about him, unless it's like a random, I pull it at the GameStop or a store, and I know I'm not going to get this if I don't buy it today. But for the most part, I like to watch the show, get farther, see the character, update, and that's why, especially with My Hero, once you know where the characters come from, that's so much cooler to buy those pops, because you're like, okay, I know that character, that's cool. And yeah, so this was the only pop we did buy, plus we have the signatures. Obviously, that is going to conclude today's con video. I do hope you had an amazing day today, everybody, if you guys were watching. We did already stream Last of Us, plus we posted the short like we should have. So I will see you guys again, obviously, tomorrow. We're going to have an art short of Crocodile done. We should have a regular short, and I'm going to try to stream Last of Us again. I'm trying to beat or get platinum for it. Maybe if it might be a different game, I don't know, but we'll know tomorrow. So I hope you had an amazing day today, and I'll see you guys then. Peace.